Okay, are we good? We're live on mine. Are we live on Instagram? Yeah, we are. Okay, cool. Hi guys, welcome back to the Styles UK YouTube channel, Instagram account and TikTok, depending on where you're watching from today. I'm super excited to be back with a Friday lunchtime live. Apologies that we had to cancel last week's live last minute. We had a few things happen that just didn't make it feasible for us to go live. But we're back this week and we're going to have a super fun session today because we're doing denim jackets. Now, denim jackets is something that we do get a lot of questions about, more from a how do we actually print them point of view, not can they be printed, but the technical side of what's the best technique, what are the accessories I need, which transfer product should I use, how do I get it to look the most effective. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to be using, give you a bit of a teaser, neon screen print transfers. Now these are obviously A4, perfect size for the denim jackets we're going to be using, if everyone can see. Yeah, and I'm super excited to show you how to print these. They look really good. The colors are super punchy and we are going to put them on black denim jackets as well. So I have one here to show you. So these are the jackets that if you watch the promo for this live, I did actually have one of these. They are from Audis. They're the So Denim SD060 is the code for those of you that are interested. And they do have a bit of stretch to them as well if you look. So obviously all of our transfers have stretch and rebound as standard. So perfect products to pair with these denim jackets. Okay, so but before we go live, I want to do my usual spiel of welcome everyone to the live. Let us know where you're watching from. Don't forget to put any questions that you might have in the comments box. I have Beth here with me as always. Hello. Say hello, Beth. And so she's going to be reading out any questions for me that you might have. So get them in the comments if you have any. We've got plenty of time today. So yeah, we're just going to get started with the demonstration. So firstly, before we actually fuse, I want to address why we've chosen A4 transfers today. So if I just grab one of the jackets that we fused earlier in the week. So we did some testing before this live and we put a rather large transfer on the back of the jacket. Now, if you can see here from the S on the edge there, you can see we printed over the seam to test what would happen. And of course, the transfer did not adhere very well. So it's sticking either side perfectly fine, but where you've got the really thick raised edge, you can see it's coming away here at the sides. And this is why we recommend you have a completely flat surface when you're using heat transfers. Now, the seams that we have on this jacket, you'll notice if I thread this onto my heat press now, like that. So this is still buttoned up. If I thread this on here, we have still got these seams on the platen, and unless we changed it to a perfectly sized platen in the middle for A4, we wouldn't be able to isolate this area with a heat press platen. So what we're going to do is show you an accessory that you can use, put on top of your platen and underneath your denim jacket to raise up the print area, and it's going to let those seams sink into the pillow that we're going to use and allow you to get that perfectly flat pressure. Because if we were to fuse, even if we put, for example, this A4 transfer onto this jacket and it fit perfectly within the seams, it would still not apply correctly because the thickness of these seams on the back of the jacket would lift up the pressure reading too much, and the actual transfer that's sitting on this flat bit in the middle wouldn't have enough pressure to adhere properly. It would probably come off when you peel it, to be honest with you. And even if that didn't happen, after a few washes, it would definitely start to come off. The transfer would start to lift, which is not what you want when you're selling high quality products like this to your customers.
It's worth saying as well, a lot of people think they're getting away with keeping collars and keeping seams on the press platen because it looks like it's fused. This will not happen with a denim jacket. These seams, it's a really thick material. The seams are so thick and raised. So you really do have to be able to isolate your print spaces with denim jackets, guys.
So just on that front, I mean, while we're talking about pressure, I may as well demo. So I have a black t-shirt here. If I just thread this onto the heat press, like so, what Beth is talking about is if you were to fuse like this, if you had your collar on here. Now this is a Bella Canvas 3001, so it's a really soft, thin t-shirt. Thin isn't probably the right word, but you know what I mean. It's not a thick, chunky denim jacket. Really, really nice material. And the collar, you'd feel that and think, oh, you know, there's barely anything there. That probably won't affect my pressure.
It does.
But it definitely will. It does. And I'm not going to go on a Molly rant today. We're going to talk about this calmly and collectedly, as Beth gets a lot of laughs out of my little mini live rants that we tend to happen here on a Friday. But if you do print, for example, with this collar on the seam, the pressure readout that the press is going to give you is going to be from the highest point on the platen, which in this case is this collar, and on the denim jacket will be that seam. Now, even if it's only a teeny tiny difference, if you're borderline on a 4 or borderline a 6, you could very easily be under or over pressured. And more importantly, that pressure readout, like I said, is measuring the thickness of the collar, and that transfer design on the middle is not getting that pressure readout that the press is giving you. It's getting whatever's left over, and that's not very good practice if you want a long-lasting application. So that's how it works with a t-shirt. But like I say, the whole reason we're here today is denim jackets. So let's get started with one of these. Now, the accessories I am going to be using today are these. Now, you've probably seen these on our channels before. We've used them a lot. These are heat printing pillows. They do come in, I want to say 4 different sizes. We've got 3 here. I think there are 4. Beth doesn't know either. She's laughing at me. Go on the website. You'll soon find out. We'll show you how to buy them at the end. No, I'm convinced that there are 4. And you can buy them either individually or you can buy them as a pack or like a family of 4. So if you know that you're just going to need, for example, the sleeve one, then just get that. But if you think, oh no, it'd be good to have a variety of sizes, you can purchase all 4. So what I'm going to do today is take the biggest option here. Now, if you were isolating smaller areas on, for example, we've done, like I say, sleeves with these. We've done shorts with these as well for athleisure to make sure that you're getting rid of that like waistband on the platen. We have done hoodies with this one. So if they've got the front pocket like the one I'm wearing today, and you don't want to swap out that platen, you can use this square one here to isolate your print. But because we are using denim jackets, we're going to use the big one. So all you do is pop it on top of your platen here, and then you can thread your garment on over the top. And what will happen is when this press comes down and applies pressure to the garment to fuse, those thicker seams are going to be pushed into the pillow, and it's going to create a complete flat surface on here for the transfer. So it's going to make sure that the seam level and the actual application level where the transfer is going go from like that to like that. So you will get that even pressure score. So that's one of my favorite reasons that we love these pillows. So let's take this jacket, thread it on. Sorry, I just knocked that. Okay, push it on just like so. So super easy. We're still threading. Just going to make sure that that pillow is pulled up on the inside. And as you can see, I've still got my collar off here. So that's still hanging away. I've still got my shoulder seams off. So they're not an issue. It is purely these 3 seams down the middle. Now, of course, you need these in a denim jacket. They make it seem like a higher quality garment. They give it structure. They give it shape. If you didn't have these, I don't think it would be as good a quality a product. So it is necessary. But now that we've got the pillow in here, if you haven't already preempted what I'm about to do, the pressure has obviously changed. So we did test this a little bit before we went live to make sure that the pressure was right. But I'll give you an example of if you were going from normal pressure, for example. So if I wind this all the way back down to, say, for example, you were printing a t-shirt or something like that, or even a sweatshirt. If I lock this down into place, that's currently on a 6 of borderline 7. So that's quite heavy pressure for what we want to do. So if I get that to, say, medium, that's on a 4 now. So by the time you put your t-shirt under there, this is an ideal heat press pressure setting for t-shirts and or sweatshirts. Now, the second that you add this pillow under there, you're adding this much thickness under your press, which is a lot. I mean, if you have a Hotronix machine, you'll know that even a cover sheet or a transfer carrier will affect the pressure of this heat press, and they are super, super thin. So anything that's thicker like this is definitely going to affect that pressure. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this all the time because you will break your heat press, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to attempt to lock that down into place.
Did you see that jump? Whoa.
And that's what your heat press should not sound like. And if you, I don't think you can probably see that on the video, but there was actually no pressure readout on this press. It just went blank. So it didn't even give us like an OL or overpressure, for example. It just went completely blank. So you don't want to be fusing your garments with pressure that is that high. So what we're going to do is use this knob on the top of the press, and this is our pressure adjustment. So with the auto open, you get the digital pressure readout here, which is this little red light. And then this is where you adjust your pressure. So you just twist it either way, and it will bring up your pressure up or down. Now, normally we only recommend doing quarter turns to adjust your pressure because, like I said, it's really, really sensitive and you don't need to make those big adjustments if you're just switching from a t-shirt to a sweatshirt, for example, or you're using, say, like a grip flex, which is a slightly thicker cover sheet. But for today's case, we're adding a lot of pressure underneath here. So we want to make sure it's right. So if I put this pillow back under here now, I've twisted this almost to maximum off just as a starting point because I don't want to keep overpressing my press. So if I push that down, that's currently on a 0/1. It's flickering in between the two. So we know that it needs to come up a bit more. We want this to be on a 3 or a 4 just with the pillow. I'd probably go for 3 actually. Our ideal pressure for this is between a 4 and a 6. And because the denim jackets are quite thick, when we add that under there, that's probably going to add at least 2 marks of pressure. So we want to make sure that we give it the adjustment we need. If we set this to 4 with the pillow, and then by the time we put the jacket under there, it hits maybe 6 or 7, that's probably too much pressure. So let's give this another try. I've just adjusted it a little bit. See, that's on still 1 to 0. Go a bit further. That's on a 4 now, 4 to 3. Okay, we'll take that. We'll give that a try. So that's on 3 to 4 for pressure. By the time I add my denim jacket back in, like I say, this is much thicker than a t-shirt. To be fair, it's probably not far off like sweatshirt thickness. It's not too thick in comparison to the high quality sweats that we often print on. But by the time I thread this back on here, make sure that pillow is pulled the whole way through. There we go. Okay, making sure all of my seams are off. And then I'm just going to do a pre-press on the item, on the jacket, sorry. See, now that's on a 7, so that's too much pressure. So you can see just by adding that denim jacket in, the pressure has jumped from a 3 to 4 to a 7, and we've still got the transfer and the cover sheet to go under here. So we need to adjust that, lighten it off a little bit more. This is why pre-pressing is great. So not only does it, see that's on a 5 now, which is fine, or 4 to 5, that's flickering medium. So we'll go with that. That is another reason why a pre-press is really great, because not only do you remove any moisture or creases from the garments, but you also get the chance to double check that your pressure is accurate, which is one of the most important things you can do. Now, you may have noticed while I was doing that this machine was flicking from 2 different timers. And that's because on the auto open press that we're using today, it does have 2 different timer settings. So the first setting on here is the temperature. And because we're using our screen print transfers today, which are made with real plastisol inks, by the way, we're doing 160 degrees. So that's our temperature setting. And our platen here is accurate within the degree as well. So the heating rods in this machine run all the way from this corner all the way to the bottom in like a zigzag motion. So there's no cold spots anywhere. You could print a tiny transfer in the top corner or a massive print in the middle, and the pressure and the temperature will be exactly the same across the whole thing.
Not to put any pressure on you, Mel, but we've got loads of people watching today.
Good.
They're all just being really quiet. So guys,
Can I finish my timer spiel before I forget what I'm going to say?
Yeah, pepper us with questions while she's finishing, guys.
So see, I've already forgotten temperature setting. Then if you press the setting button again, it gives you your pre-press setting, which we've got currently set to 3 seconds because we don't want to put too much heat through this garment before we do the actual transfer. Then if we press it again, it goes to 10 seconds. This is our actual transfer main press. So screen print takes just 10 seconds to apply. And then if you press it again, it will come out of settings mode and warm up to temperature. It's already up at the moment, so that's fine. But the reason I love having the dual timers is because you always have to pre-press your items. That is a non-negotiable when it comes to heat printing. If you ever have any issues with your transfers, I mean, A, you're probably not using Styles UK transfers would be your first step. But number 2, as well as time, temperature, pressure, your pre-press is so important. But if you, for example, are using this machine that does auto open when it's finished, you don't want to keep, for example, if I was to lock this down, it will clamp into place and automatically open when it's done. I'm probably going to scorch this jacket now, pre-warn you, but we'll go with it. We've got another one. If I lock this down now and it's got 10 seconds and I go, oh, I only need to pre-press it, you either have to pull it up like that, which really isn't good for the press. You heard that clunk. I can see the steam coming off this jacket now. It doesn't like it. You don't want to pull it up like that because you are going to damage your press. That's just as bad as overpressuring it, and then it will buckle over time. If you're doing hundreds of thousands of prints every day, every week, if you do that every time that press closes, you are going to break it eventually. But also from an efficiency point of view, you don't have to keep going back in and changing the timer settings every time you're pressing. You can know that your first pull down is going to be your pre-press and your second pull down is your main press, and that's all you have to know. So now that I've covered the settings of the machine, do we have any further questions, people?
No, everybody's been really quiet.
What's wrong with everyone today? It's Friday, people.
Is anybody printing denim right now? I would love to know. What are you putting on it? Has
anybody used our screen print transfers before? That's what I want to know. If Melanie's watching, I know she does, so I expect a comment from you at some point in this live, Mel. Okay, I am convinced that I've probably scorched this. I mean, it's looking okay, to be fair. We might get away with it. I pre-pressed that about 10 times. You don't normally do that.
Ignore the scorch, guys.
It might not be. I might not be. I'm holding out hope. We have we do have another one, so we can show you how to actually do it with one pre-press next time. But now that our pressure's set, it's time to move on to our actual transfer. So like I said before, these are our screen printed heat transfers. These are the neon inks that we're using today. Sorry, I keep forgetting we have 3 cameras. We good?
Yeah.
And these are made with real plastisol inks. So the beauty of our 1 to 5 color screen print transfers is you can have, like I said, between 1 and 5 individual colors. You can't do gradients and stuff like that. That's what ultra color is for. And we can talk about that separately if anybody has any questions. But for screen print, it means that you can get real screen printed results without having the mess of, you know, all of the screens you have to have, all of the washing, the drying, the powdering, God knows what else you have to do when you're making these transfers.
The cost of it.
The cost of it, the dryers, all of that stuff, washing the screens down. It's a bit of a nightmare. It takes a while. So we do all of that for you. The guys that are behind this wall printing these transfers as we speak, they do all of the messy stuff. And we ship these out to you within a couple of working days so that you can literally get a transfer like this, put it onto a garment, press it for 10 seconds, and you're done. And that goes out to your customer. So high quality, real plastisol screen print transfers that we are using today. And as I mentioned, these are our neon inks as well. So with screen print transfers, we have neon and metallic inks at no extra cost. So when you're ordering these, which we will take you through at the end of the live, so stick around if you want to know how to order these online. We can add these in during our design process. We just literally change the color from pink to fluorescent pink, and our team will print them for you with these amazing neon inks, and it won't cost you anything extra. That's an exclusive to Styles UK. So great feature there. Right, let's print this garment now and get it off the press because I feel bad. She's been on there for a while. So we're going to take our transfer, make sure it's the right way up, place it where we want it to go. I'm going to make sure to avoid those seams. Like I say, we have these A4 ones printed so that we could avoid these seams. And we are going to take a sheet of release paper as well, because these are cold peel transfers. We want to make sure that that carrier doesn't come up with the heat press. So we're just going to lay this over the top and protect it and pull it down for what I hope is 10 seconds on there. Is it set to 10? No, it's set to 3. There we go, that's 10. So that pressure is now on a 6. So that is the higher end of what I would call medium pressure. So we want to be a little bit careful. Oh, it's dropped down to 5 now. So it's flickering in between the two. So I was going to say, we want to be careful that we don't let it go up to like a 7, because 6 is the high end of pressure. We don't want it to be any higher than that. Now I'm going to carefully remove my denim jacket from the press, and I'm going to be careful not to have it lift or anything. I'm just going to place it down on the table over here and let it cool down. Now, denim jackets do hold on to a lot of heat because obviously they're quite thick material. So this probably will take 3 to 5 minutes to cool down. So we're gonna chat while it cools down. We'll just place it down over here.
Well, we do have a couple of questions. So.
Do we? Has everybody woken up now?
Yes. So Tilly Tally on TikTok says, do we design the transfer sheets ourselves, or are they pre-designed?
Oh, I was just about to take a sip of water as you were speaking. Sorry.
How long did you think the question was going to be?
I don't know. So we do and we don't design them. So we sometimes Beth and I do, depending on what we're using them for. We do have a great artworking team here that do some of our marketing designs for us, but we do not provide an artworking service. We have an artworking team who check all of your artwork before it goes to print, but they don't create designs for everybody to print. If you do want some pre-made designs, we do have stock designs available on EasyView, our online ordering system, so you can check those out. Failing that, there are plenty of sites out there, websites where you can get artwork like that. You can get freelancers to do it. There's plenty of them online. So regardless of what you're after, you'll definitely find a way of doing it, because I'm not an artworking expert. So
cool. Got another question for you.
do I have time for a sip in between?
Yeah, have
questions?
a little sip. Nomadic Studio Productions on Instagram says, does Ultracolor offer neon?
So Ultracolor, technically the answer is no. You can get some pretty bright and bold colors with Ultracolor and Ultracolor Max, which is what I'm wearing today. So the yellow in this is quite vibrant, but it's not the same as the neon. So you can get the very, very bold colors. We actually do have, whether or not you've seen the announcement, we have an artworking series coming out with Dane, and one of those videos is him showing you how to optimize your artworking files, and he really brings the color out of those full color photorealistic images. So I'd recommend watching that one. They're coming out every 2 weeks starting Thursday the 9th. I believe that's the second or third one in the series, so it's only a few weeks away. But that's really good. So he'll show you how to really get your colors in your full color designs to pop so they can be as vibrant as possible. But in terms of the actual neon inks, no, because it's a digital process. We do not offer the neon inks for our Ultracolor. They're purely for screen print, same as the metallic options as well.
Tilly Tally's come back and said, that's great because I'm a designer, so I would want to do my own designs anyway.
Perfect. So yeah, as long as you have them on a transparent background when you're ordering, and as long as the minimum 300 DPI, then you can upload your file and have it printed as a transfer, no problem. We will, if you switch over to YouTube, Tilly, at the end of this video, we're going to show you how to order transfers online. So if you want to see a bit more about how you actually order it through EasyView, I can show you our quality checker and things like that. So stick around for that. Any more?
Yep. Greg is in Tenerife and he said,
jealous.
I'm really interested in getting prices. I can't seem to get them here. So
okay, for transfers, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming.
Okay, if you would like transfer prices, you can go to custom.styles.co.uk. There are two ways you can get pricing. You can either click on the tab at the top that says pricing, and it will give you a pricing grid. The reason that there's a grid is because we offer scalable pricing. So the more transfers you order, the lower the price is. So it just makes it a lot more, it makes it a lot easier for you to profit with those larger volume orders. You're right over there. And then we also have real-time pricing as well. So for example, if you choose the transfer you want, whether it be Ultracolor or screen print, choose your size and go through to the designer. As you change the quantity in that designer, it will change the pricing for you in real time in the top corner next to the basket. Again, we'll show you how to do all of that at the end of the live. So if you want to hop over to either Facebook, LinkedIn or YouTube, we'll do the screen share on those platforms.
I'm about to show my terrible geography skills right now, but is Tenerife in Spain?
Tenerife is a Canary Island. So Spain is like here and the Canary Islands are a bit further south. Lanzarote, Tenerife, okay. Gran Canaria, I think is one of them.
Geography with Molly.
It's only because I go there all the time. I know where it is. I don't know anything else about the world. Yeah, very jealous. Tenerife is very nice weather this time of year.
Both Greg and Tilly say thank you.
Anytime. Right, I do have a question from Darren actually, which I'm going to read. Can you create your own designs on the EasyView Designer? They also have tons of editable templates on there. Yeah, so we do have some templates that can be edited. Correct me if I'm wrong, Beth, but I believe we have like the like ski trip ones, or there's some sport ones on there where you can edit like the name within the design and change the colors and stuff. So that's quite cool.
Yeah.
You can create your own designs on there, but to be honest with you, I think I personally rather do it in like Photoshop or something, just because, yeah, unless it's one of the editable templates, there's not as much you can do within EasyView. We're hoping to maybe change that at some point in the near future, but at the moment, from a quality point of view and more of like an in-depth point of view for your artwork, you're better off, like Tilly says, doing them yourself and then uploading them into the designer. But the option, if you did want to design something pretty basic like text and a few shapes or what have you, we do have some templates in there, so you can do that.
Keep your eyes peeled, guys, because we will be dropping some new stock designs over the next couple weeks or so. So
we will. Yeah. I'm excited. Beth's been working on all of the summer ones and I'm very excited to see what they look like. I'm just going to check this transfer. Bear with me.
final question for now, while Molly is checking the temperature of the transfer. Nomadic Studio Production says, what is the largest sheet print you offer?
The largest sheet print we offer for ultra color and screen print is A3. And for ultra color max, we do actually have a 1 meter roll, length roll, whatever you want to call it. So you can get a meter by 55, you can get a 55 by 55, all the way down to the little 6x6 in DTF. And then, yeah, the biggest size we offer for full color and screen print is A3. Nearly said A4. A3. Definitely A3. Any other questions for now?
That's it for now.
Cool. Okay, so I have just checked on our jacket and it's very nearly cold. Now it's cold, but I'm going to give it another 30 seconds just to be sure, because, yeah, that jacket does retain a lot of heat and we want to make sure it's completely cold before we peel it, just so that we get the best result from our transfer. If you peel it too prematurely and it starts to lift a little bit, you're either going to have to repress it, which we don't need to do and don't want to do. If you follow the instructions, none of our transfers need second presses, which is one of the best things about them.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was just checking out all of our watches.
Every time
today.
you do that, I think, oh, has she got a question for me? Has she not?
No, I can see some of our regular watchers with us with Riggs Media on Instagram.
Hello.
So hello to you. I'm going to pronounce this so wrong. So wrong. Ardnaxela?
I recognise that name.
They have an auto open too. We have seen that on Instagram.
Yes.
So they're watching along probably for the auto open content today.
Fun.
Phil's with us, our normal.
Hi, Phil. How's it going?
Our bestie Phil. And then, yeah, we've got plenty of people with us on TikTok today as well.
Cool.
Thanks for the love, guys.
I very much appreciate everyone joining this week. I was worried that I'd have upset everyone because we didn't do a live last week, but we seem to have our followers, so we're good. While we give the jacket another minute to cool down, let's just run over some features of this press. Now, you may have noticed when I was loading the jacket on that we didn't have an issue with the second layer. So I didn't, for example, take our jacket like so. I didn't just go like that with it and put it on there. I made sure to isolate it. So pull the top layer from the bottom layer and thread it like so. Now, the reason that we can do that with this heat press and the reason it's so important is because you do want to isolate that top layer. We were just talking about how important pressure is, and that is a very similar thing. So if we isolate that top layer, this heat press is on a caddy stand. So you can see here, we've got complete threadability underneath, which means that the bottom layer of the t-shirt, the sweatshirt, the denim jacket, whatever it is you're printing on, can hang underneath and it completely isolates that front layer that you want to print on. So that's a really great USP with this press. Now, you can either use a caddy stand, which is what it's on now, or you can get a counter caddy, which is kind of similar to what the Fusion looks like, but it just comes separately as like a base and you put the heat press on the top. And then it also, the caddy stand here also has wheels and is height adjustable. So if you, for example, want to put your auto open press on your work countertop, on your workbench, and you know exactly where it's going to go, then the counter caddy would be perfect for you. But if you do want to have it next to a workbench, for example, or you want to be able to move it around, you want to be able to change the height of it depending on who's using it. If you do have a user who is slightly taller or shorter, you don't want them to have to strain to reach for this handle and pull it down all the time. This, of course, is set to my height because I use it all the time. But if you did have someone that was a bit shorter, you don't want them having to reach and pull because that will strain their back over time and things like that. So you want to be able to set it properly and move it around with the wheels. And then the caddy stand is probably the best option for you. We mentioned the pressure, we mentioned all of the digital controller here. So the Hotronix Auto Open is the first heat press in the Hotronix collection that has got pressure readout. The Hotronix Max Clam does not have pressure readout. You do it via touch. So with any heat press, if you can pull it down and lock it into place with 2 fingers, that's on 0 at the moment, obviously, because there's no pillow. But if you can pull it down and feel it click with 2 fingers, you're at medium pressure. But if you do want that pressure readout, which to be honest, I do recommend, because if you're switching between garment types or, you know, you're not really sure what the pressure is from feel, you need that number for reassurance. I 100% recommend it. It just makes life a lot easier, especially when you're rushing to get things done in a busy day.
While Molly just goes and checks the temperature of that transfer that we've fused, guys, I have a question for you all, actually. We've been talking about funny heat printing stories this week. So for those that I know are still with us, like Phil and Riggs Media Group, Tilly, if you're still with us, what is the funniest or weirdest or strangest garment request that you've ever taken? What's the weirdest thing you've ever pressed? Let us know in the comments.
Don't tell me though, because I'm not allowed to know for the future content we're creating.
It'll make us laugh.
It will. It's gonna ruin our. So I'm not telling everyone what we were planning on doing with that, but I kind of don't want to know.
I would love to know though, guys. Let us know in the comments.
I bet Phil's got some good ones.
Yeah.
I can sense it. Right, now I'm gonna peel this. I'm gonna put it on the press and peel it. Obviously, it will start to get warm if I leave it on there for too long. But this has gone cold now. Completely cold. Yeah, we're good.
Stone cold.
So what I'm going to do is just really quickly put it on there and pull the carrier off. I didn't want to leave it on too long. And as you can see on here, there is nothing left on this carrier. It's completely clean. And we have our finished denim
that looks so
jacket.
good.
It looks cool, doesn't it? And if you were to like make it more like it's being worn, it looks sick. So let's bring that in so everyone can see it close up. Oh, sorry, the light just went.
Let me just adjust the settings on the camera a touch, just so that neon, there we go. So that
Look
really
at
stands
that.
out.
That is so cool. I really like this design as well, like the graffiti effect. It looks really good. And the actual finish of the transfer on that looks really good. Really, really good. Just bring it in for a close up.
There we go. There you go.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
We look good. Okay, so that is printing the back. Now, it is only 12:30, so we're going to do a few more prints on here. I want to show you how to utilize the other pillows. Where are the other pillows? There they are. I've moved them. I want to show you how you can use the other pillows. So we're going to do a sleeve print. Now, if you remember, the first step when changing accessories, even when you're using the same accessory, because this is a slightly different shape, the surface area will change, which means the pressure will change. So we're still going to do our pressure test with this before we actually put our garment under there. So I'm just going to push this down, and that is on a 0 right now. So we need to up that pressure a bit. Now, most people would think that because we're using still a pillow and it's roughly the same thickness, so it's not even auto opening, there's no pressure on there. But because, like I say, the surface area is different, it's the same when you change out platens. I think people always assume that just because it's got the same mechanism on it and it must roughly be the same height, that the pressure stays the same, but it doesn't. Even if I was to change this platen from a 40x40 to a 40x50, I would still have to check and change the pressure. See, that's on a 4 now, so I'm just going to lighten it off a tiny bit, and then we'll be good to put our jacket under there.
Let's not scorch the sleeve this time.
Wait, it didn't. It looks okay. I don't think it scorched at all.
Handled it well, yeah.
Pretty
it's
good.
Handled the 10
I was going to
pre-press
say,
as well.
Normally you would pre-press it once, so it would be under there for maximum 15. I reckon it was probably a good minute of pre-pressing on that. So I'm just going to slide this pillow into the arm like so. And as you can see, there are seams on this as well. Now I'm going to try my best to get this seam on the edge so that we're not printing directly on it. Like so. There we go. And then I'm going to pop it back under my press. Now, depending on, see, I could do this so that the button hangs off, but what I'm going to do just to make sure that we don't burn the button here, I'm just going to undo it. And when I put it under the press, I'm going to lay it like that so that if any heat does come into contact, the button is completely covered. So I'm going to do that and push it under there, twist it a little bit so that we try and avoid most of the seam. And again, you want to make sure that any unnecessary bulk is not under the press. So that looks pretty good to me. Let's test it. Let's give it, that's on 10. Let's give it a pre-press. See, that's on a 7. That's on an 8 now. So you can see even just the tiniest amount of change really does affect that. So that's been pre-pressed. I'm just going to put it down because I'm not holding it while I show you the transfers. So which one should we go with, Beth? I reckon we go with this one. What do you say?
Cute.
So this is our Styles logo. So as you all saw, the sheet that we just printed on the back is this design, but technically it's a gang sheet, which we'll talk about a bit more in a minute. So we've just cut one of the designs out to use as a screen print. Why are you laughing?
Sorry, I'm secretly laughing behind the camera. I can't tell you because Phil's come back and given me a fantastic response to my question.
Keep it for the podcast.
So
keep it for the podcast.
For secret future content. But Phil, that is hilarious.
Everyone watching on Instagram can see, so they're all laughing. Right, we're going to put this on here and then release paper. I can reach it. There we go. And we're going to lock this down for 10 seconds. So now that's on a 4. So I've just lightened it off a little bit.
Where can you buy the auto open heat press?
From styles.co.uk. If you're in the UK, if you're in America, you can go to styles.com. If you're in Europe, you can go to styles.de.
And the heat press that we're using in the UK, how much does it cost, Molly?
I think it's 1720.
There you go, TikTok.
Right, again, same thing. I'm going to put this down, let it cool off. We are going to do a few different placements on this jacket today, because I think adding additional placements to your products, whether that be a hoodie, whether it be a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, anything like that, I think adding those additional placements not only makes your products stand out more from other heat printers, but it also gives you the chance to increase the value that you're charging for that item. So every additional placement is an additional cost that you can charge to that customer. So we're just going to wait for that one to go down. Darren's come back with another comment and said, I usually create and upload my own designs, but I do occasionally use the templates in the online designer. Exactly. So the beauty of EasyView and the beauty of having your own designs is that you can use them together to cater for whichever job it is at the time. Are you writing down Phil's response? She's going to forget if she doesn't write it down. Yeah, you can use them so that they complement each other. If you have somebody that wants just a basic text design, then of course you can do that in our EasyView designer. Similarly, with some of the templates, they might be relevant, but if you have something that's really specific, like the graffiti prints that we've done today, I always prefer to do them myself, just so I know they're exactly what I want them to be. Yeah, so use them both in comparison. Do we have any other questions on Instagram or TikTok?
No, Phil's just lolling, seriously lolling.
Lolling. That's
and then we've had lots of interest in the press on TikTok, but you have no answer to those questions.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite presses, and I know I keep saying it, but the auto open feature on it just means that if you're, I mean, I know with the denim jacket today it's a bit different because I'm having to sort of hold it in certain locations, so you are stood by it. But if you're doing t-shirts and sweatshirts, for example, or hoodies or whatever, and you're pressing and, I don't know, the phone rings or your doorbell goes or the dog's barking or anything like that, then you can walk away from it, do something else, and know that it's not going to scorch. Of course, if you're doing hot peel products, then you're going to want to be there to make sure you can peel it. But the added strain of not having to open it and the risk of scorching and over applying is non-existent with this press.
So nobody's printing denim products yet. Phil said not yet, so perhaps Phil will
Well, after today, everyone, you
Yeah.
should be, because so these denim jackets that we've got from Audis, like I said, they're really high quality. They feel like something that you would buy out of retail. When they got delivered to us here, I was honestly shocked at the quality of them, because they do feel like something you would pick up in, I don't know, where'd you buy denim jackets from? Levi's, Uniqlo, places like
retail
that.
stores.
Yeah, exactly. So really, really good quality, and they're available from £17 on Ralawise, which again, we'll show you how to order those in a little bit.
There's like 4 different colours as well, and there's 2 fits for
Male and female, sorry.
As unisex and female cut.
So the female ones come in a little bit more at the waist, and the male ones, I personally prefer the boxy fit, so I probably would order the unisex one anyway, but it's nice to have the option. And yeah, so they're from £17, and like Beth said, you can get the black, there's a light denim, a dark denim. I think, is there a white one I've seen? There probably will be somewhere out there in the market. But yeah, variety of things you can offer, and I think there's so many markets that this would be appropriate for as well. So if you have a brand, obviously just branding them up with your logo or a cool design, you could sell them for 25, 30, 35 pounds, depending on, how you're marketing them. If you're in fulfillment, they could be a great addition for things like workwear, maybe, depending on who your customers are. So I don't know, coffee shops, builders, painters, I don't know, anything. Barbers was one that I came up with the other day, actually. We were doing some designs, and I thought that's quite a good one, because somebody like a barber would want to still represent their business and represent their brand, but they might not necessarily want to just wear a bog standard t-shirt or hoodie all the time. So denim jackets are quite street, they're quite cool. I can't pull off saying street, can I?
No. Fun fact for you all, the first ever denim jacket was created as workwear for people working outdoors on like building sites.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was in, I want to say in the US, that might be wrong, but it was towards the end of the 1800s, and then it became really popular at the start of the 1900s.
Just by Levi's, right? Were they the first one? Yeah.
But it was workwear initially, because denim is a hard wearing and thicker material, so it would last longer when people were.
And it's the right time of year to do denim jackets as well, especially in the UK, because, summers are great here sometimes, but come the evening, you do want something to chuck on, and you don't always want it to be a really, warm hoodie, sweatshirt, coat. You want something that's a bit warm, but also a bit lightweight as well. So this is perfect for that. Okay, so this has been complete now, so we're just going to pull it off. And there you have your finished screen print.
It looks so cool.
That looks really cool, doesn't it?
I'm going to zoom in on the camera.
Okay, bear with.
Down, please.
Sorry.
There we go. Looks good.
That looks really cool.
Yeah. Can you show TikTok for me?
There you go, TikTok.
Thank you.
There you go, Instagram. Apologies, everyone. Okay, so that is 2 placements. That is the back of the jacket and a sleeve print. Next up, let's do, should we do the collar?
The collar looks really cute.
Should we do the collar again?
Yeah,
okay, so what I'm going to do is undo, actually, let's do the front first, sorry, because I want to just talk about the buttons while I'm undoing them. Yeah, we could do that. So I'm going to jump back to the huge pillow, pop it under here, and lighten off the pressure because we lowered it for the other pillow. 4, that's 3, yeah, that's fine. Lighten it off a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is thread it on the other way around. So we're going to have all of the top on the platen, but what I'm going to do is unbutton it so that all of the buttons are covered by the other side of the jacket because you don't want to scorch them. Why am I having such a hard time on doing this?
Is it not just going to fall open?
No, because what we're going to do is print on the left chest. So options are, so we're undoing all these buttons so that we don't want them on the platen, obviously.
She's trying.
I'm trying to undo them. It's because it's new. Right, so we've got our pillow on here. We've got our jacket like so. But what we want to do is this button here, we obviously can't move and we can't get off of the platen. So we're going to undo it in due course.
I'll play some music.
Why am I struggling so much with this?
Elevator music.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Right, so what we're going to do now is still pre-press this, and then we're going to place our transfer on the top. Now I am going to hold this in place. I'm going to have to block the camera, but we obviously still need our pillow under here. So I'm just going to pull this down for a pre-press. That's 10 seconds. That's 3. Just going to hold it. Okay, so that was on a 6, which is fine. Which transfer should we use, Beth, for the front left chest? Yes, please, because I don't want to move.
Where is your little pile of selected?
We'll go with that one. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to use screen print again. This is a really awkward angle. Place it on the jacket like so, and then cover it with a little bit of release paper. And then we're going to press again for 10 seconds. Obviously, if you did have a smaller platen to isolate the area, you could probably hang it in a way that you don't need to hold it while it's under there. But for the sake of the pillows, I mean, you just want to make sure that's okay. So we're going to let that cool down, and then we'll peel our left chest. But so far, we've got, the Styles print, graffiti on the back, and we're going to have the chest here. And then we will do the collar as well. But again, let this cool down, let it be peeled, and then we shall move on. Whoops.
Phil is still thinking about his response.
No idea what that was. I want to know, but I don't want to know because we're doing it for a podcast. If anybody does have any further questions, we only have one more placement to do. So if you want to know anything about the heat press, about the transfers, anything, future events that we might have on here, I don't know. What videos do you want to see?
Yeah, and then we'll let you go back to your lunch hour.
Yeah, guys. I'm getting hungry. What content do... this always happens midway through the lives. I'm like, I need to eat now. What content does everyone want to see on our upcoming lives? Who does everybody want on the podcast? What YouTube videos do you want to see? We're in the process of planning a few of those for later on in the summer. So what do you want us to do?
Am I allowed to talk about the next podcast episode? Yeah, so Bank Holiday Monday for everyone watching in the UK. Hopefully, none of you will be at work. I'm sure some of you will be because obviously you're all hard grafters.
I reckon some of our printers will be working on the Monday. I shall not be, but
yeah, we are dropping a bonus podcast episode this Monday.
We are. It's a good one as well. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, go for it.
So we released a teaser trailer on our YouTube channel Tuesday, I think it was, announcing that on Thursday, the 9th of May, so less than a week away now, we are dropping a brand new video series with Dane Clement, who is an artworking expert at Styles in America. He opened up his company, Great Dane Graphics, who you'll probably recognize him more from. Years ago, he's got so much experience with artworking and creating artwork for heat transfers, and he is now with Styles. Obviously, he's been part of the Styles family for a very long time, and he's collaborated with us before on a few things. You've probably seen him on our podcast before. He has done a couple of Friday lunchtime lives with us, which is fun, and a few videos for our YouTube as well. But they've kind of been a little bit sporadic. We've done a couple of random ones based on, we did one on sport, we did one on quality, things like that. But very excitingly, we have put together an 8-part video series all about artworking for heat transfers. So we've done how to set up a raster, how to set up a raster file, the difference between vector and raster files, optimizing your artwork, which is the one I was mentioning before, about pulling up all of those colors and the detail in your full color designs to make them really pop and shine. What else have we done? We've done so many. How to remove designs from black and white backgrounds, how to edit AI artwork. There is so much in there. And even though technically we only have 8 episodes now, it is one of those ongoing things where, you know, if you guys have questions and you have things you want to see and you want to know about for artworking for heat transfers, tell us, let us know, and we'll create more of those episodes with Dane. He's more than happy to help and teach all of you. It's what he loves to do. So just let us know. And yes, I'm very excited. That's going to be coming on Thursday, this Thursday. We're going to be releasing them every 2 weeks. So it gives you a chance to watch the episode, use it across your work, really get to know that skill, and then we'll drop another one. So regardless of whether you're new to the heat printing industry or whether or not you are an expert and you just want to make sure that all of your, you know, basic skills are really fine-tuned and perfect, make sure you watch these videos. They're really not that long. Some of them are, I think it's like 3 to 10 minutes is the length. So they really don't take that much time out of your day. And yeah, I'm really excited for you all to see it. So make sure you're subscribed exclusively to the Styles UK YouTube channel. We will be dropping a few clips across socials as well, but for the full tutorials, make sure you're heading to the YouTube page. And yeah, podcast on Monday talking all about it was the point of that comment.
Phil, oh my God, this is why we love you so much. He said Molly's nails match the hoodie. What did you say before we started?
I said that before we started. I was like, they match the screen, my hoodie. I was very pleased about that. Thank you for noticing.
Yes,
Phil.
that was the thing she said before we went live. Oh my God, they match.
I'm going to have Styles Blue next time, aren't I? Right, is this transfer cold yet? Yeah, she's good. Okay. We'll peel this and then we've got one more to do, guys. One more to do.
Share as well. We're running out of time.
I know.
Busy.
If we can't screen share today, I'll put up a link to the video of how to order online. That might be what we do actually. Okay, so peeling. Look at that.
Oh, that looks so good.
Look at that.
Standard
how
response.
good is that? Oh no, which way am I doing it? That way. It's really difficult working in reverse.
I know. If I zoom, can you bring it down into the camera?
I can see. Yeah, there you go.
Let me make it a little bit darker so that everyone can see just how much.
That's the wrong way.
There we go.
There you go. That looks so good. Love it. Okay, cool. So we've got the back, the sleeve, which I now realize I have done upside down. But it's all right. It's all good.
Live television, people.
This is what happens when Molly talks and prints at the same time. But it's all good. It's edgy because, well, actually, in all fairness, if you
can read it correctly.
Well, no, I was
at your own
I was going to say, yeah, if you were to wear it and look at it like that, it might be okay. We'll do one more print. I'll save myself with showing you a very, very cool print placement.
Praveen says, can you get Hotronics in India?
I'm pretty sure the answer is yes.
Asia, don't we?
Yeah, you can get Hotronics presses on any continent across the globe. Reach out to either the US team or the Styles Asia, and they'll be able to direct you to the right place. Right, so this next one, sorry, were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, the next one we're going to do is the collar, which is super cool, but we're not going to use a pillow for this. So I am just going to bring that pressure all the way back down again. That's on a 6, so we'll bring it up a little bit. Collar's quite thick. Okay, so we're going to heat print on the collar so that when you wear it, you get a nice little neon print on the side there. So this is a pretty easy one to do in terms of pressure because you don't have to worry too much about there being any seams on there, but you do have to hold it, obviously, in place to bring it down, which is a bit faffy, but we're going to go with it. That's on 10. Right, I'm going to do something that I don't recommend people do. There we go. Transfer, please. Thank you very much.
It's going to be on a 3-second press.
Yeah, that's okay. Right, so we're going to pull that on there. Is it the right way around? At this point, it doesn't matter, does it? Can you please track me? That's all right. There's a small one on there. Thank you very much. Okay, so we want to do this for 10 seconds. I'm just going to make sure, like Beth said, that we 10-second press. We're now on a pressure of 6, so that adjustment was definitely necessary. I can let that go while that's pressing. I don't need to hold that. So like I say, multiple placements on a garment like this really do make all the difference, not only from an effect point of view, how they look, but like I said, you can charge extra for all of those extra placements you're adding. And if you do your gang sheets correctly, it won't cost you any more. So for example, if you ordered your A4 back print, you could order this on an A3 and chuck a load of different like neck labels, arm prints, sleeve prints, collar prints on that same sheet, and it won't cost you any more because it's all coming off of the same thing. So that's a very useful tip for everybody to know. Just gonna let this cool down. This collar's actually really warm. I think this is the thickest part of the jacket, so that's gonna retain quite a bit of heat.
So Molly, are we going to do ordering today, or are we going to save that one for another day?
Apologies to everyone, but it is 12:50 and I've talked for 20 minutes longer than I thought I was going to. So what I'm going to do is drop a link in the comments we have done a very polished video showing you how to order transfers on EasyView. So I will drop that link in the comments. The video is also on EasyView. If you go to custom.styles.co.uk and go to how to order, that video is on there as well. So we've made the content, it's there already. We'll walk you through, Andy will walk you through how to order them online. It is super easy. All you have to do is select the product type. So you can either go for screen print, which is what we've used today, the 1:5 color, or you can do ultra color, which is our full color. And then we do also have ultra color max direct to film transfers, which is no minimum order and great for smaller runs like one-offs and stuff like that.
Tilly, if you're still with us on TikTok, pop into our DMs and I'll send you the link directly.
Yeah, and as I say, if you go to custom.styles.co.uk and how to order it is on there as well. Yeah, and then you just select the size you want, upload your design, quantity, and check out. So it's super easy, super simple. And if you do want to get hold of these denim jackets and any other blank apparel, go to ralowise.com. The code for these ones, just to remind everyone, the ones we've been using today, is SD060 from Ordis So Denim. So 100% recommend these. They are lovely. I fully intend on stealing one after this live because they're very comfortable.
Molly, I've got a TikTok complaint for you that I need you to address live on TikTok.
I'm worried now. What is it?
It says I've got a complaint. Someone threw a jar of mayonnaise at me when I was there. What the hell, man?
That's very random.
Hellman's mayonnaise.
Oh, that was terrible. That was so bad. How is that relevant?
Well, there you go, Barry.
That was awful. I'm sorry. If you're gonna come into our lives with non-heat printing relevant jokes, at least make them decent.
Barry, it made me laugh.
That says it all, Barry. That says it all. Right, let's peel away this carrier. I did do it the right way around because when you fold this down, that will be what you see. So if you were to wear it, you get your little collar print on there as well. I actually love the result of this. That does look excellent. So you've got your collar print on there, you've got your left chest, you've got your sleeve print upside down, and then you've got your back print as well. And you could do so much more with this. If you wanted to do, prints along the bottom waistband, you could do that with the pillow. If you wanted to do more shoulder prints up here, why are you laughing?
Barry said that in hindsight, maybe you
Barry,
should have said it.
Barry. Right, I think it's time we all go now. I think
He's
it's
thinking
time
of food.
I think it's time for lunch. Barry clearly wants some ketchup and some mayonnaise. So let's end the live here. Thank you very much to everybody for joining me today. This is actually my last Friday lunchtime live for a few weeks. I am going on a little holiday, so I won't be here. But Andy is going to be around with a few lives for you. And then I'm coming back at the end of May with a very exciting collaboration and some new product launches. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're tuned into all my future lives. And yes, keep an eye on our live schedule for Andy's next one as well, because he will be doing a live while I'm not here. We've already told him he has to do one. Yeah, that was it. Thanks very much to everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Barry.